Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to take a rusty old shelving unit and bring it back to life and turn it into something useful. First, we're going to take it apart. I'm going to remove the feet, take out all the screws. This is completely metal. It's that old tubing. I'm going to clean it down with brake clean. Yes, auto parts brake clean to cut down on the rust and brush it with a wire brush. But for some reason, I've left half of this stuff out, so I would have did it as a whole piece, but you have the tubing that fits up inside the other parts, so I wanted to make sure I got the rust on all of it, so I took it all the way apart. Each leg pulls apart into three pieces. And it's missing some shelving, so we're going to take some wood planks that I had, and we're going to cut it down to fit three across into one shelf. And I'm going to use dowels and drill holes, put the dowels in, join them together using a center finder. And for some reason, I cut that out as well. And who knows what's going on. I think I'm on break. I have no idea why this is even in here. I should have cut it out too. Oh, I was probably looking for that T-square ruler thing. I have a bad habit of laying things down and can't find them. This happens like 25 times a day. Then we're going to sand it down. And then we're going to begin painting. First, I'm going to give the metal a good painting. And then those are already glued together. Each one is joined by three dowels. And I've glued them and clamped them. And here they're dry. And this is near midnight, and you see me with a bathrobe on. That's my overcoat. Just imagine when it's daylight and people see me going to the mailbox across the road with this thing on. Life happens. But I was cold, and I don't like cold, so I was tickled to have those glued together, and they were stout. So it was pretty much worth it being out there in the cold. And here's a good use for some of your Amazon boxes. Poke holes, put the screws in the hole, and then you can paint the heads of the screws without worrying about getting on the threads. I'm giving all these a first coating, and then in the morning we'll come back and give them another one. Check each piece and make sure you ain't missed anything, because I do every time. I'm going to use a stain made from black acrylic paint, a little brown acrylic paint, and water. And I got this recipe from Era at Bentley House Minis, because I like the way when she stains her stuff, I like that color. And when it dries, it lightens up. It's not as dark. You can go over it with gloss or matte polyurethane. And the friend I'm doing it for wanted it rustic, so we are going to go with matte urethane and no shine other than the black. I'm going to start putting them together and assembling. Once I figure out how to get the feet back in it, it had plastic feet that just popped out, so I'm trying to pop them back in without knocking the paint off. Of course, I just made a hammer out of a piece of wood, so which is probably for the best. I'm going to give it a temporary screw together using the basket at the top from where it was. She wants the top made for her toiletries and the bottom shelves for towels and wash rags. So we're going to go with 2 wood at the bottom, 2 metal above that, and then the basket on top. But I need to measure my holes for the wood, so I'm going to put it together temporarily so I can get the wood held up long enough to use the pencil to go through the hole. And I've cut out the part where I got the bubble out and level, not bubble, the level out, and I used the pencil, and I've pre-drilled some holes now. And now I'm putting the screws in till I can get them screwed in with the drill. And then I'll take the shelf out of the middle that I had temporarily put there. I'd only hand tightened it, but then by the time I got back to it, I couldn't get a hold of the screws with my big old fingers, so. And you'll notice my boards are never the same length. It does not matter how many times I measure. By the time I get them to the same length, it'll probably be an inch wide. But we're going to fix that in a few minutes with some trim. And now that I've got it where it won't fall over, mind you, the wind's starting to blow too here, right about here, because in a few minutes you can see it swaying in the wind. And I've already got 3 pieces of trim put on, but here's the last piece. I had to take some of those boards and saw them down and drop them. Then I'll sand it down. Then I'm going to go over it with the stain. And you see, I forgot to get the gloves again. So now my fingernails are all black. I'm going to use a screw pilot to put my screw holes in. Then I'll start the screws and then put it on the piece. And this is the last piece it needs. And there you go. It's not perfect, but it's certainly better than it was. And it'll hold something. Thank you for watching.